If I ain't drunk, then it ain't Christmas. You know where to stick those jingle bells. If I ain't hammered, it ain't Hanukkah.
Gentlemen, ladies, welcome back. Adam here, Sandamtod, gonna do another Xmas video. Before Xmas, thought we'd do the PSX-mas. Got a lot of response to a couple of my tags that I've done recently in the response category in the comments, and a lot of people have a lot of differing opinions on what their least favorite system is. And usually it boils down to either game graphics, game library, or just all-around playability, controllers. It's usually not the actual system itself. But Retro Gamer VX did a response video, which was really nice, in which case he said that his least favorite was the PlayStation, and he thought the graphics were a little too in their infancy when this came out, and they just didn't look as good as he would hope they would be next to the N64 and stuff, and I can see that. But I don't know. Part of that to me was the charm of the system in a way. It felt like they were trying to explore new ground and delve into more adult media. I mean, as far as like games with mature ratings and stuff versus Nintendo, who was still trying to toe the line. Even though Nintendo had a few releases on some of their, like the Super Nintendo had a Doom release, and it had the Mortal Kombat releases and stuff. It just still seemed like they were a little gun-shy to really push the system. And yeah, they put Resident Evil 2 on the system, and that's the one that everybody always points to. Oh, Resident Evil 2 was on the N64. Yeah, but Resident Evil 3 wasn't, and Metal Gear Solid wasn't. I mean, there was a bunch of games that weren't on there, And so I thought I would do my 5 favorite PSX, the PlayStation 1, Christmas games for the old PlayStation. Yes, you too can have one of these if you have a screwdriver and a can of spray paint. That's basically how I modded this. I was going to buy an airbrush. If you want systems to try to paint mod, you can get PlayStations for about $5 at the thrift store. So, I don't think you're hurting anything if you decide to paint mod a few of them. But this is mine that I use on a regular basis, though. I swapped out the LED for a red one, and I painted it red. I don't know. I just thought it looked kind of cool. I don't even leave it hooked up most of the time because I use my PlayStation 2 if I'm going to play PlayStation 1 games. Why not? So I'm going to do my top 5. These are my 5 that I think everybody should have in their collection. We've done a PlayStation 1 collection vid before, but, sometimes we need a little refresher. I love Metallica. Little disposable heroes for everybody. Okay, let's get started. First things first, 2 of these I already mentioned, so that's kind of a buzzkill. But the first one is a favorite, Resident Evil 3. Everybody's like, whoa, what about Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 1? Resident Evil 1 is rough looking. I mean, and it's hard for me to play games nowadays, now that we have the 3D environments and the way you control your characters with the 2 sticks. It's really hard for me to get used to that up is forward always kind of game nowadays. It really is hard for me to go back to them. This copy's not the best. Every time I pull it out, I'm like, God, I need to get a new copy of this. I got it at a Blockbuster Video when they were selling used games. And it only has the cover to the instruction book. And they put one of those nice Blockbuster Video stickers over the whole front of this that when peeled off half of the top of the label. So someday I'll get a new copy, but I have it on the Dreamcast as well. So it's another case of that buy it again, and buy it again. The graphics, I'm not going to get into graphics. I mean, I'm not going to try to defend the PlayStation as far as the graphics go. Tomb Raider 1 is the only Tomb Raider I've ever beaten, and I went back and stuck it in, and it looked probably the most rough of any game. And that's why these games have gotten remade since. You've gotten a remake of Resident Evil on the GameCube. You got a remake of Lara Croft Tomb Raider in Anniversary Edition. They remake these games anyway. And so I'm not really recommending those because they did redo them, so you can get them in a better graphic format if you want down the road. So, but Resident Evil 3 was the end of the trilogy, the PS1 trilogy, before Resident Evil 4 and 5 and whatever else has come out since. I kind of gave up trying to keep track of all the little Umbrella, this and that, and all the Wii games and all that junk. But 3 is probably my favorite for a run and gun kind of playthrough. And I recommend 3 if you've ever played the Resident Evils. I'm sure you've played 3. But if you've never played a Resident Evil game, I would recommend at least playing 2 before you play 3, so you have a little bit of an idea of what's going on backstory-wise. But you don't necessarily got to take it all the way back to 1. And if you do, you can get I forget what it's called on the the GameCube. God damn it, what's it called? It's not Resident Evil 0. It's something. I don't even remember. It might just be called Resident Evil. I don't know. They remade it. So, and they changed the voices though. That's kind of the thing that sucks is everybody's like, well, Chris is our old partner, They changed Barry's voice and they changed a couple, and diehard original game playing fans kind of were like, yeah. And actually, when I started up and heard that they changed the voices, I was a little disappointed. But anyway, it looks better. Second game I recommend, and this one is, in my opinion, is better on the PC, and it's a little hard to get on the PlayStation, but the first version of it that I had was on the PlayStation because I didn't have a computer at the time I bought it, and then I got the PC version down the road, but that is Diablo! This is a 2-player simult, actually. You can play 2 players at the same time on the same console in the same room. Imagine that. This is the PlayStation edition, folks. And I don't know. I still see this going for $25, $30. I don't know why it does, but it do. So, and Diablo, you basically pick from one of 3 characters. You go do a little dungeon crawl, and you get a lot of loot. You upgrade your items, and you go try to kill El Diablo. So I recommend Diablo, either on the PC or on the PlayStation. But we're doing the PlayStation here. Now we're getting into some territory that is really some of my more favorite even than those. This game, when I first played it, I got that one new at Toys R Us, by the way, the Diablo, at the time. This one I got at Blockbuster Video, but it's actually in awesome shape comparatively. And that is Dino Crisis 2. This is a Capcom release, and this is definitely run and gun. The only difference is, unlike the first Dino Crisis, where you gotta conserve ammo and run by a lot of dinosaurs and trank a lot of dinosaurs, this one just straight up gives you bullets and says, hey, mow down a bunch of velociraptors. So this game is fun as hell. You get a lot of upgrades, there's a lot of save points. This little computer thing you walk up to on the wall, similar, I guess, to like on Dead Space, how they have the store that you go and you can buy stuff in, and it's just like a booth kind of thing. It's similar on this to that, and you get money and stuff for killing the dinosaurs, and then you go and you buy more bullets to reload your gun at the store at every checkpoint. So, but this one is definitely a lot more fun than Dino Crisis 1. Never beat Dino Crisis 1. It was too much of a bear, and I was just like, you know what, this ain't worth it. It's just not worth it. This one is definitely worth it. Run and gun, shooting a lot of dinosaurs. There's different types of dinosaurs too. I mean, they have the pterodactyls and the plesiosaurs and things like that, along with the bigger and badder T-Rex. I don't know if it's supposed to be like some super T-Rex or something, but he's like 2 or 3 times the size of a old T-Rex. So I don't know why I keep showing it, but this one I would recommend. And I showed it, but this one actually, they did not put the sticker on there. They put a sticker on there, but it wasn't that funky one that peels everything off. And it actually does have the full instruction booklet, and it's not cut up or anything. So, Dino Crisis 2, 2 more games. And actually, I think they remade this one as well on the GameCube, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not 100% sure because I don't own it. But I do own this, and I bought this brand new when it came out. That's why I have a black box edition, and that is Metal Gear Solid. This game was such a trip, and I've discussed it many times with y'all about the AI and the guy seeing your footprints in the snow and, you know, having to sneak around and kill guys covertly and everything. This game was worth every bit of playing through, and I have beat Metal Gear Solid. Actually, it bears noting, I've beaten all of these games, which is something that's rare for me. So the reason why I can firmly recommend these is because I definitely spent the money on them. And not only that, I played through them and beat them, so I know their quality because they kept my attention. So it still has the instruction booklet, everything. It's still got, you know, all the little goodies. And black box version, which is awesome. I had a greatest hits version that I gave my cousin that I gotten a while back. I think I might have said something about that before. And then this is a final game. That one I got... Where did I get that one? Something makes me think I got that one at Toys R Us as well. I used to go to Toys R Us quite often to get video games. That was before GameStop really was around here. And video game stores. They had Funko Land, which is defunct and I think got bought out by GameStop eventually. But there wasn't a lot around, and basically Funko Land had your stuff. They didn't carry a lot of this gen. They carried mainly retro stuff. And I did pad my Nintendo collection out quite a bit when they came to town because they were selling, you know, Nintendo games for, you know, pennies on the dollar, it seemed like. So, graphics aside, this game, it blew me away, and it's still one of the best games I've ever played. Really, I mean, I hope they reboot the series at some point, but I don't know how big of a draw there is for it. That's the Legacy of Kain series and Soul Reaver. This game is so kick-ass. I mean, you start off kind of with the loose backstory of Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, and it kind of leads into this. But this game is a totally different beast than Legacy of Kain. Legacy of Kain, or Blood Omen 1, was more of a top-down, kind of almost aerial view kind of adventure game, and this is more of a 3D puzzle and platformer. And this game, when you start off, you're what is it, Razio? He's tossed into the pit of despair. I don't know what it's called actually, but tossed into some kind of swirling, vortex by Cain and the other brothers, because he, I guess, surpassed Cain in his morphing into a newer, higher being. He grew wings, and that really pissed Cain off. So Cain ripped his wings off and tossed him in the pit. Well, whatever's down there in the dark decided to save Raziel from death, but not before it ate his body up. And basically sends him back and says, hey, I'll send you back. Go ahead and get your revenge on Cain there. So he sends you back. You don't have any abilities to start off with, but as you go along, you run into your brothers, and it's been hundreds of years since you have been in this limbo, even though, it only seems like a short time to you, and your brethren have morphed and become, these other creatures that they weren't before. And as you kill them, you get their powers. Like, one of them has the power of being able to climb up walls. One of them has the power of being able to morph through objects. And one of them has the power of, being able to swim, things like that. And I don't remember how many you fight exactly. I think it's like 5 or 6. But eventually you get the Soul Reaver, not the real Soul Reaver, because that's what Cain has, but the embodiment of the Soul Reaver in the Wraith Blade or whatever. I don't know why I'm explaining all this. If you want, you ought to just play the game and figure it out. The graphics on this are a little rough. Actually, I recommend this game wholeheartedly, but if you're a little bit of a graphics snob, I would recommend getting it on the Dreamcast. It looks a little better, and I think it plays at a little bit higher resolution. I actually got the guys at Game Exchange to run them both side by side at their store to see what they look like, and we compared them right there, and it definitely looks a little cleaner on the Dreamcast. So anyway, this game is awesome. I mean, it went on to spawn Soul Reaver 2. And the Legacy of Kain series went on to do Blood Omen 2. I do not recommend Blood Omen 2 very much because it is really buggy, and it was before the age of the internet patch. So a lot of the voice sync on the cutscenes is off. The mouth and the voice are way off, and it's basically like punch, 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 kick, punch. I mean, it's a lot of that. So, at least on Soul Reaver, there's some puzzles and things like that. And Legacy of Kain Defiance is kind of the definitive game that, there's quite a deep story, so I'm not going to ruin it, But those are the 5 games, starting with Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, Soul Reaver. I think Soul Reaver 2 came out next on the PS2, then Blood Omen 2, and then Defiance. And I recommend all of them. It's one of my favorite series. I hope they redo it someday. But until that day, play this one. Nice sheen on that. Okay, folks. That's it. That might be all of my Xmasy videos before Christmas, but I hope y'all have a good one. I hope y'all indulge, eat, drink, and be merry, and just enjoy your family or your friends or whoever you got to spend some time with, and be thankful for what you have. I've learned that over this last year. You just got to be thankful for the little things and not sweat a lot of the other stuff. So anyway, thanks for coming by. Thanks for coming by, guys and gals, and I'll see you on the flip side later on.
Drunk that it ain't Christmas. You know where to stick those jingle bells. If I ain't hammered, it ain't Hanukkah. yourself.
La 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 la.